What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 5 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Imrik Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, in a quest battle Imrik acquired the armor of Caledor, pushing also his level up to 14 and over, and getting Meneathnir, our first Star Dragon, the Star Dragon, on the field. Pretty great, and on top of that we unlocked the next of the dragon encounters, LAMOUREUX, the Frozen Breath, which we'll probably do this particular episode, and in fact probably this particular turn, because, well, Imrik's at full HP, and we've taken out the army of the Drippin' Fangs. So, I mean, why not? In terms of what we gotta do this time, I mean, there isn't really much other than that, so let's just jump into it. Belherathoi, you are still trying to find Teclis, hopefully before he dies, so please continue southward. Arathond. I mean, I feel like we still have to do something with him. He's costing us a lot of money just by sitting here. So either we have to delete half his army so that we, you know, don't lose the extra 1,000 gold or so that's costing us, or we have to send him out to sea as originally planned. We do see a bunch of islands up here, all in a nice little row. So I think this is the way to go. So that's the way we'll go. Away you go.
Making my way.
And we're down to 2 predicted income. And we can cross this territory, so we're good there. And what is this? Bleakhold's Dark Elves. Alright, well, let's hope that they're not coming down to Torsatha, as if they are, then that's going to be an issue for us. But I guess we'll see. Oh, minus 66 now. I guess because we left our own territory, but, you know, fair enough. We have no money to spend, and really nothing we can do other than fight the battle for the first of our dragons, so that's what we're going to do. Alright, let's give this a read. Through its herald, you have issued a challenge of battle to LAMOUREUX, the Frozen Breath. The ancient moon dragon and its attendants shall fight without mercy to test our strength. Now, I mean, in terms of the units here, there's some good units, but a lot of them will just get pincushioned by our range units, I take it. And now that we have Imrik on Meneathnir, I'm a lot less concerned about the winning these fights. Imrik should be able to take on any single enemy Lord Dragon one-on-one, I would imagine. At least that's what I recall from the last time I played Imrik, so that's what we're gonna do. And damn, it's gonna cost 500 gold to teleport and drop our money down significantly. Hopefully we get a nice monetary reward for this. And that's about it. Yes, we did reach the engagement threshold, 500 likes and 60 comments. And if we reach it again in this episode, we will have 2 episodes today. And ooh, damn, that moon dragon's making Meneathnir look small somehow. Seems unlikely, but away we go. Alright, here we go, simple and straight to the point, to battle, indeed, dragon on dragon, moon versus star, and we'll start it off with a nice dragon breath as the 2 will engage each other, but we want to engage closer to our line where our arrows will be able to make up a little bit of the difference. Not that I don't imagine Imrik wouldn't be able, okay, that was too many negatives there, wouldn't be able to defeat the dragon, but there's other stuff to attack, and we can't have Imrik busy up there the entire time. LAMOUREUX down to half HP, and I do notice that the enemy army does have LAMOUREUX as its lord here, which is interesting. A little bit too bad that the game doesn't at least offer you the option of having each dragon become a lord for Imrik's faction. It would make his faction even more unique if that was a possibility. I suppose the issue with that would be that the dragon quote-unquote lords would have to be given skill trees, but I don't imagine that would be all that difficult. Because otherwise it would be an army led by a dragon that would have no other buffs. And damn, with about 10%, maybe even less HP remaining, LAMOUREUX, the Frozen Breath, gets its namesake off, as a Frozen Breath manages to rip through our lines of archers and clip a second unit of archers as well. Quite a bit of damage there from that one, and a cool looking attack, but alas, the only attack that he'll be able to get off. Surprising he's able to do that despite being engaged by Imrik the entire time, but, well, that's the AI for you. And I do think, yeah, it does seem that I confused the battle against LAMOUREUX, the Frozen Breath, with the battle against the Norscan Frostworm, or Frost Dragon, like the big one. There's a Norscan monster hunt against the big old Frost Dragon with like a vortex, and I'm pretty sure that's what I was confusing it with last episode. But oh well, not a big deal. Here comes some Skin Wolves, some Fimir Warriors, and some Ice Trolls, as well as a giant Norscan Ice Wolves, and we will meet them in combat. The Spears will take their charge, and then our Dragon Princes will charge on in. Over in the background, our units of archers are trying to focus down this giant, as we certainly don't want said giant knocking out individual Dragon Princes, and pincushioning is the best way to make sure that it is incapable of doing so. Imrik is embroiled in combat against the enemy Frostheart Phoenix, and is winning pretty handily. Imrik was down to about half of his HP after the fight with LAMOUREUX, but that Armor of Caledor offers a pretty insane amount of healing, and he's back up to near full just fine. Especially considering that with the Cascading Fire Cloak available to Michaela, we can essentially counteract the negative defense that we get from the activation of the Armor of Caledor. Anyway, down goes the giant, leaving a bloody trail as it attempts to leave the clawing spears and biting arrows of our lines, but fails to do so, and it goes down. The rest of the enemy army, at least the first main stack, is pretty much broken, though a few units, by the looks of it, will rally. They'll have to rally right into the arrows once more. That said, LAMOUREUX's pack is not quite done, as 4 mammoths are making their way onto the field, and the mammoths hit pretty darn hard with 908 damage. I don't actually remember whether they used to always hit this hard or whether this was some kind of these are some kind of special mammoths or something. Gotta double check them later on. But yeah, it looks like they'll be pretty threatening. Sun Dragon getting a nice fire breath down on the Ice Trolls, just because it's the principle of the thing. I melt them away a little bit, and besides, the Trolls don't like being hit with fire, as it interferes with their Troll regeneration. Imrik's going to land on 2 of the Mammoths to try to distract them, while most of our archers will focus a specific one down, which quickly loses about half its HP. Massive amount of damage and massive amount of HP on these things, but with only 30 armor, they do go down fairly quick, though they are liable to crush a few of your own units. If you're not careful, I imagine it's more dangerous to the spears than it is to the Dragon Princes. And we did have to wait to send the Dragon Princes in, as with the amount of damage that the Mammoths can deal, they can certainly, just like that giant, be a threat to the Dragon Princes. That said, with Imrik distracting one, the Sun Dragon moving in to distract the other, and the Noble and Michaela going after the third, and these guys are stuck, getting pincushioned and basically getting attacked from all directions, which will cause them to shatter, and the battle against the first of the legendary dragons to be ours. Very, very nice. Close victory. We certainly took a little bit of damage on our spear line as they got charged by the enemy, but the staunch spears held well. Most of the damage, I think, came in from LAMOUREUX and that darn 10% HP clutch breath that it managed to get right before it died. But hey, we wouldn't want to tame a weak opponent anyway. Alright, not too bad of a battle. I gotta say, I was pretty impressed with the prowess of the mammoths there. One of the mammoths very heavily damaged our Sun Dragon. A little bit annoyed that LAMOUREUX was able to get that frost breath off, considering they were being attacked by Imrik the entire time. But, well, what can you do? That's just the AI for you. Anyway, we got decent damage on both of our Dragon Prince's units, but when do we not? And for once, it it wasn't Michaela doing all the damage, because frankly, the type of units that we were facing off against in this particular battle did not lend themselves well to the lore of fire in particular. I mean, we could have damaged the Femir warriors and the doggos with it, but we were better off just spamming the various buffing spells that the lore offers us. Anyway, we have no choice but to take the money. We are also in friendly territory, so that's the thing to do. And we get LAMOUREUX blood for 20 turns, physical resistance for all armies. And that's a fairly significant amount for a fairly significant amount of time. As well as a Moon Touch Spear, which gives us a bound Wind Blast ability as well as Frostbite attacks. And lastly, Imrik gains the Essence of the Eclipse trait, which is melee attack plus 5, weapon strength plus 10, and an additional use as well as cooldown reduction for that dragon horn of his. Lovely. Alright, next I guess we're going to... Wait, which one of these do we want to go for first? I noticed Desolation of Drakenmore is going up to tier 2, so if we take the Blasted Expanse first... Okay, well, you know what? Try to get closer. I want to see if it's getting upgraded as well. Go right to the edge of the territory. We won't be able to heal the full, but that's fine. And... Oh, whoa. Okay, no, I got worried that this guy... not much of a stack, but I did get worried that he would be able to hit Howling Rock from here, which would not be so great. We will still go to the edge of this territory, and you will still be unable to go there, which is just fine. Alright, then, Imrik, you are going to go into Lilith's Blessing, I guess. No way to heal any extra. And yeah, Blasted Expanse is not being upgraded, so if we take Blasted Expanse next turn, and then we can take Desolation of Drakenmore at tier 2, hopefully, afterwards. The plan here is to take these territories and then trade them to the correct Drin Dwarfs before they get upset with us. Honestly, I'd even trade them Howling Rock.
You are not welcome, so I won't pretend otherwise.
Hush.
Now spit out your proposal.
Yeah, see, he's willing to do non-aggression pact for Howling Rock, but not military access, and it's military access that we need, because if we give him Howling Rock first, all he'll do is get upset that we're quote-unquote trespassing. Even though I feel like if you're giving an enemy, or giving somebody territory, no, it'll be too abusable. I was thinking that there should be like a leeway for your armies to actually exit the territory, but at the same time, you could just abuse that by giving territories to enemies, and yeah. Anyway, let's see what we have left this turn. There isn't much. We got a little bit of cash, but I don't think we can afford to spend it. Plus, we did most of the building that we needed to do last episode, and we're still waiting for a few things to be completed. I think that, well, I was originally going to build the watchtower here to help the Ashridge Mountains. I honestly don't think it would be able to take a full Skaven stack anyway. At least this will generate us a little bit of money. Honestly, actually, considering how much money it generates, it won't pay for itself. Almost tempted to say the plaza might be the better option. Not that it will pay for itself for a long time. The thing about the artisans is that at tier 3, they give us a construction cost reduction by 5%, and same thing with the elven residences. So combining them will allow us to eventually kick off our economy considerably better than we're doing now. But anyway, we'll just do what we're doing, and if we have to delete stuff, well, I guess we'll delete stuff. The Invocation of Isha is available for that constant casualty replenishment rate, which would allow us to buff this up, but I think we'll wait until we auto-resolve a couple of battles with the with this army, because it'll need to heal and it's far away from our own territory, so yeah. Alright, Imrik, you sir, what are you missing now? We could start buffing up our units, but frankly, we probably wouldn't get Militia Master anyway. Speed of Assyrian as well. I think we can actually, or want to actually start with Ward of LAMOUREX, simply because we're a pretty darn big target now on that dragon, and liable to take a lot of range hits. Skip, and then turn. I think we did Diplomacy last time, and if we didn't, if I've forgotten, well, it's too late to do anything about it now. Alright, let's see where the Drippin' Fangs go from here, and let's cross our fingers that the bearded ones don't declare war on us this turn. Oh, it looks like Karakadrin is good. Alright. I just gotta be... Well, no, we gotta survive for another turn afterwards, because we'll need to head to Desolation of Drakenmore. Ow! Huh. They went to the Desolation. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. Good for them, though. Ooh, Clan Worms destroyed. That's not good. That is very much not good. And the reason that that is very much not good is because they were at war with Clan Moors, who is now... I think they were at war with the Crooked Moon or the Crooked Moon Mutinous Gits. I assume it's the Mutinous Gits because they want Carrick 8 Peaks. But it does mean they'll most likely declare war on us. Yeah, they're not at war with anybody, and they don't like us. That ain't great. And they're coming. Maybe I should have built the defenses here after all, but too late. Too late now. Well, I guess we're going down there ourselves anyway. Anyway. I assume that you can't reach Howling Rock.
Student of Teclis.
Well, we'll still, I think, go here to the Blasted Expanse with you. I'd rather not risk her dying, even if they attack Howling Rock. It's not like we're not trading it away next turn anyway. Imrik, you're going to swap into Noble Prestige, and you're going to hit the Blasted Expanse, and then immediately go to Desolation of Drakenmore right after. We got a full stack right there. This has me greatly concerned. Be an ideal time for them to declare war on us. Auto-resolve this, which will do basically no damage. Loot Occupy will heal us, but it'll give, like, no money. I wonder if under Loot and Occupy... Okay, you know what? Loot and Occupy, I want to say that this'll keep us close to full. Would you take the Blasted Expanse right now?
My Slayer oath would have me kill you where you
22,
stand,
not much.
But I am also a king, so I'll hear you out.
I think we're going to have to risk trespassing. And just because I'd rather not fight them. And I mean, normally I probably would. I don't want a repeat of previous campaigns where we fight this here, and I want to fight this here instead. So we're gonna try to make nice with Karakadrin and hopefully allow them to hold the Darklands. Funnily enough, they're not fighting these guys. Who are they fighting, in fact? They're fighting no one. Oh, okay, that makes it even more likely that they'll potentially declare war on us. You would be willing to join war against the Drippin' Fangs. Let me think about this. The good idea about that is they'll, like... Okay, fine. We're gonna have to trespass. Alright, so to not risk this, we will move you here. I'm gonna hope that you can actually... Yeah, I think you can reach a Desolation of Drakenmore in a single turn. Leave a Noble Prestige and go for... She doesn't really matter. Go for Lilith's Blessing. Then, we'll trade the Blasted Expanse to you. We will ask you to join war against the Drippin' Fangs solely for the... Anybody else here? No, not really. Solely for... Oh, actually willing to give us a bit of money. 2.3k versus 2.6... Okay, no. Solely for the additional relationship with you, like this. Then see, immediately it's trespassing, even though we... That shouldn't be a thing. At least it shouldn't happen on the turn. You should have a turn to leave. One turn game. But anyway, they like the gift is fine, I hope. And then if we give them the Desolation of Drakenmore and the Howling Rock as well, they'll have a full territory here, and hopefully it'll be decent for us. Anyway, that is Imrik. Who's up next? Erathond. I'm gonna ignore Xarian, I'm just gonna assume we'll be fine. You're going to go out here and then... Maybe you should try to go out to sea, but Xarian be able to reach you here? Maybe out here. We need to go where hopefully he can't reach us. We also need to keep an eye on the Vampire Coast, but yeah. Alright, go to sea here. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd be willing to fight Xarian, it's just that there's islands and stuff to pick up. We could also try to grab Toran-like for ourselves, which is a pretty nice money-making territory with marble in it, as well as the Black Citadel, and is within striking distance of the Shrine of Cain as well, even though Tor Dranel is owned by the Eataine Elves. Anyway, Bel Harathor, you're still traveling southward. Please find Teclis before he dies. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Okay, this is Tor Serpender. And it's entirely owned by these guys. Is Teclis dead? No, he's still alive. They're still trading. The fact that they're still trading means that these guys still have a settlement. I'm going to assume that it is indeed this, and these guys simply swapped stuff rather than this. This should be former Zlatland territory, as the last defenders confederated Zlatland this turn. Alright, and I do believe that's it, other than potential building. I think we ignore Ashridge Mountains for a little bit. Still trying to get that Bone Gulch leveled. Black Fortress. We did max out the Marble Quarry, meaning we can get the Haven. We can get to the... I mean, there's a bunch of stuff that we want to upgrade here. Yeah, just do it. Alright, Haven, and Manor, and Colonnade, and don't bother, I think, with the Enchanted Walls. It would take a pretty strong stack to break down the fortress. We'll upgrade this if we get into a war with Kugath, but until then we're fine. Switch to Tribute to the Phoenix King, because even with the Colonnade, the public order is absolutely horrendous. Mount Greyhag, I guess you can also build yourself another public order building, this Colonnade. Then briefly switch to Tribute to the Phoenix King. Collect some income. Maybe next turn. Let it fix itself a little bit. I'd love to grow the place a little bit more, but we can do that over time. Tower of Gorgoth is okay, and we'll need to, I guess, switch to Rebuild Lost Splendor for next turn, at least to build a few things, if we can afford it on that turn. Speaking of affording things, how much would it cost to... Well, actually, it's not that crazy amount of upkeep for LAMOUREUX. I mean, I would have loved to put him into the other army to act as a ringer, but the thing is, in any army other than Imrik's 686, it's quite a lot. So I think right now only Imrik can really use dragons or dragon princes until we fix our economy. But that's fine. It's as it should be. Anyway, I believe there's nothing else to build and no other... Just taking a look at the commandments again. Caledor, you're okay? I mean... Man, plus 30 growth and we have 36 growth. Bloody draining winds completely screwed us over in the early game. And your public order is certainly dropping. But we can't do anything about it because we need to collect the income and we need that tribute to the Phoenix King. I mean, banish a corruption. We can't have tribute to the... Okay, we'll fix it later. Anyway, unassigned, blah, 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 blah. This is all irrelevant. Let's double-check Diplo. Let's go next turn, and let's knock out those... Goldtooth's nearly ready for a trade agreement. Quarterly Barras nearly ready for a defensive alliance, and they're fighting Khorne and Ironbrow. That's all fine by us, I think. Alright, just gotta keep an eye on Goldtooth. End turn. And hopefully this guy doesn't immediately cancel the non-aggression pact because we're trespassing. Quote-unquote trespassing. He is gonna pop into the Blasted Expanse, and that's just fine. That's fine. Where are you gonna go, Blorg? You gonna defend it? You're going to set up an army outside. Not the best idea. Not the best idea at all. You can still reach the Desolation of Drakenmore. Not a noble prestige, but that's okay, I think. I think we'll fight the settlement directly. Rather than this guy, because more likely than not, this guy will just move away and just fight the settlement. We just gotta make sure we kill him, as he's gonna come in as a reinforcement. Alright, we will... Close victory, eh? Oh wow, that's a lot of trolls. 4 trolls here, and 5th troll here. Lots of orc boys. More boar boys. Yeah, alright. Looks like a battle worth fighting, actually. I do like the sound of that. You can go into Lilith's Blessing, as that's what you're always in. We'll level up, and then we'll hit this after we move everybody else around. Now, speaking of moving everybody else around, who needs to go places? Erathond. Is Xarian after you? No, but Ares Sawkins is nearby, and... Oh, damn, you can certainly move far. Oh, wow, you actually took White Peak? Huh, I wasn't expecting that.
I agree.
I really wasn't expecting that. I thought they'd fail. I thought this... Huh, maybe Sir Thar should have actually tried to defend this. Well, we may want to just declare war on them and do something. The thing I'm concerned about is Ariokans hitting this particular army, and it does look like the army he has is at full HP, so if we go here, most likely he will attack us.
The sea knows my fate.
Well, we'll have to do our best if that's the case. Go to the shipwreck.
Away.
And explore the island, and by virtue of the fact that... I mean, obviously this should normally be auto-resolvable. It's low casualties, but how low are the casualties, really? I guess... Okay, here's what we'll do. We'll auto-resolve and just heal up. Oh, we barely took any damage at all. You know what? Don't even bother healing. I mean... It's a decent bit of money. It is gonna make it riskier for this guy against Ares Sock. Ooh, ambush defense chance plus 20. Oh, that's going to Imrik. That's going to Imrik because... Island Song? Did that do anything for us? Probably just gave us cash and nothing else. Well, it's no materials at sea, but we'll take it. We will take it. You will get the ambush defense chance simply because you're liable to be fighting the... There we go. You're liable to be fighting the... Let's gotta get that Moontouch Spear to the other guy. Get him some kind of spells, at least. You're liable to be fighting Clan Moors. The Skaven, that's what I kept trying to say before I interrupted myself 50 times. Shrieking Blade for you. Oh, you don't actually need Shrieking Blade because you have the Terrifying Mask of E, but there's no other weapon for you to use. Huh, actually, funnily enough... You and you will swap weapons. You can use the Moontouch Spear for now, and you can use the Shrieking Blade. I mean, I suppose I could have swapped the other stuff around, but whatever. You do have a little bit of spell work, even without a spellcaster this way. And you are damaged, but, well, what can you do? Anything else we can do for you? I guess we could give you the Opal Amulet, and the Amulet of Fire probably won't do anything for us. Yeah, the rest is fine. What about ancillaries? Food taster, enemy hero success chance, that does nothing for us. I think we can ignore it, but what we can't ignore is points. What do we want to point you up with? Now, you have Militia Master, you don't technically have any special kind of abilities, so you could really do anything you please. More likely than not, you'll have artillery, and you know what? We've started you with eagles, you'll probably have more eagles, so... What buffs eagles? Skymaster? Yeah, it's Skymaster. Honestly, the buffs aren't all that much. Bowmaster might actually be the better pick here, because we run out of ammunition and it does buff the basic archers. We could go Skymaster after. Yeah, fine, let's go Bowmaster. Alright, and then you, Noble. No choice but replenish troops, really. Alright, and let's hope that that damage was not sufficient for this army to be in bad shape when this guy inevitably declares war on us and attacks us. But if we win, it's money, it's XP, it's everything we want to be. Bel Herathoi, again. Find us attack list, please. Oh, there's a Skull Island down here. There's no way to take it unless we get... Ah, there we go. Faction countered. There. Attack list. Don't you die, sir. Minus 144. We can't even threaten him into confederating at that rate. Damn. Okay, you better not die, dude. You've got a full stack against Kairos, and you've got a little bit of defenders out here. That's concerning. Now here's a question. Do we delete you to get 300 gold per turn, or do we head you to the eastern colonies to eventually trade with them? I mean, we've already found Kairos. I think we should go for the eastern colonies. They're a decent trading partner in another Elven faction, which means we might be able to confederate them eventually as well. Anyway, building is not time because it's fight time.
Dragon strikes!
Dragon strikes indeed, sir. Let's get Flamestorm, should be pretty darn good in the close confines of this particular settlement battle. And I guess max outspeed of Assyrian on Firion our Noble. Fayadin, oh right, you had the dedications. I don't feel like reading them right now, so we will read them later and fight now instead. Go.
Knights of my great house, Ulthuan needs us now more than ever. For we are the absolute of its warriors. It is time for Caledor to rise once again.
Alrighty, well, Imrik has certainly risen into the sky now that he has Menethmir with him, and now it's time for the rest of Caledor to rise as well. I'm gonna start the battle off with sending the 2 dragons in. Gonna use both of our dragon breath abilities. Imrik's on the trolls here. It appears to have killed 2 of the trolls and did about half of the damage to them, but it's really the tower that we want to bring down. The dragon breaths just put on cooldown, and the tower we want to silence. Fortunately, it looks like we hit pretty darn hard with the dragons, and the tower will be going down fairly quick while the rest of our forces get ready to move towards the enemy. A flame storm coming down, non-overcast I believe, just the basic version on some orc arrow boys here, and it'll possibly block a few units if they attempt to. Are you guys actually trying to run into the flame storm? Bad idea. Another nice thing about the flamestorm, or possibly a bombardment if that's what you want to use, is using them to knock down enemy, not battlements, barricades, that's the word, barricades and platforms, that sort of thing. I remember in my Archaon campaign, wherein we were not using magics for the Cornate armies, because the Cornate armies wouldn't appreciate it. We were still using magics to bring down barricades, so we could get the rest of our forces into the fight. I think that's certainly something that Khorne could approve of. Anyway, what Khorne definitely wouldn't approve of is all of this arrow rain, but, well, I think the High Elven Pantheon would, or just Elven Pantheon, I guess, would have a few different things to say about that. Gobos are dying in droves, and our army is positioned fairly well to make good use of all of these range units, and they damn well better, as once again the enemy has 2 full stacks here, and we just have a ton of enemies to work through. Imrik now at the forefront, not really worried so much about taking damage, as he's got tons of buffs on the Menethmir, very solid stats, and he's generally always been a pretty nasty fighter. And he's going to get stronger and stronger as we knock out each of the special dragons. Alright, Michaela's in there as well, just making good use of that chariot. Here comes the Sun Dragon to help out against the trolls. Not that either Michaela or Imrik really need the help here. And they're gonna be joined by the Dragon Princes and the Scions of Mathland as well. Time to start hacking our way through the enemy settlement itself. And oh, damn. The roof of this particular cave or whatever always interferes a little bit. Anyway, Bright Star Dragon Breath into a pretty decent pile of units from Imrik, who's racked up 169 kills to this point, and deeper into the enemy settlement we go. Dragon Prince is going to charge forth to attack some orc arrow boys, preventing them from firing back upon our high elven archers. And of course, those orcs have no chance in terms of fighting Dragon Princes. But as I recall in the Kislev campaign, the Orc Arrow Boys trading blows with some of the Acolytes of Ursun did allow the Arrow Boys to still dish out some damage to them, as they, well, they're still orcs. They can still hit you pretty hard with that bow. Anyway, Imrik found an enemy goblin, Big Boss, quickly reducing it down to about 10% of its HP. And moving to chase it down. Now let's see if we can get one more hit on that boss. Come on, do the pounce. It's right there. It might be too fast, especially with the trolls in the way. Looks like it's gonna book it on out there. Oh, well, not a big deal. We have other things to kill here, and plenty of them, in fact. Now starting to take positions within the enemy settlement. We're gonna use a couple of spears to block off at the left portion, or our left flank, while we send in all of our range units to provide support to Imrik, and the Dragon Princes, the spears, and all of our single entities in general. Though by the looks of it, for once, Imrik is doing the lion's share of the work, or dragon's share of the work, I should say, though really it's Menethmir and doing most of it. Especially Imrik's just sort of sitting up there watching. I do find it funny that a dragon is probably so much more stable than the Frostworm is. Once again, for those of you who watch the Kislev campaign, just the absolute ridiculousness of the Frostworm's movements when it's being used as a mount. Just the most unstable thing possible. But anyway, Imrik's still blocking the enemies up, getting another Sun Dragon breath from our, well, Sun Dragon, while the Fireborn and the other Dragon Princes, followed by the Rangers and the Spears, make their way forward as well. I'm gonna buff everybody up with a nice little Flaming Sword over, no, Shield of Thorns rather, to reflect enemy damage and provide ourselves that lovely missile resistance, which is good in this particular situation as we have our own units firing into this blob, and they are certainly a danger to our own units, or at least would otherwise be. Here comes that fiery convocation, which we've used to great effect throughout this particular campaign, and just look how far it travels. Rushing through those boar boys, and sending one of the units running, and I'm sure the second one will be running as well. More trolls are moving on in, and we're going to get a burning head moving through them, and they're reinforcing gobos and orcs. But we gotta keep on fighting the trolls. Fortunately, the burning lances of the Fireborn, I think, are a perfect sort of weapon to be fighting units like trolls. At least from a loreful perspective, and to some degree from the game's perspective as well. Fireborn hit pretty darn hard after all, and the trolls don't like that fire damage. Weakness to fire damage plus 50% due to troll metabolism, and that's gonna stack with all the other weaknesses to fire that our particular army does. I think it was 20% in vanilla, and I guess it's 50% in SFO, but I do like that. A little bit more rock, paper, scissorsing going on, rather than just ignoring certain aspects of things. Anyway, Imrik's going to cast his bound piercing bolts of burning upon the enemy, which are hidden pretty hard. Unless that was Michaela's piercing bolts of burning. Alright, to be honest, it's going to be difficult to tell. I think the bound ability that Imrik has is a little bit smaller of a casting area, but I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, the enemy army is in pretty bad shape now. The balance of power down to about 10% in their favor only. And there we go. Here comes the second piercing bolts of burning. I think this is the real one, not the bound one. Not that it matters over much. Just gotta make our way up the ramp now as we destroy the last remaining enemy units here. Looks like a unit of boar boys is still held in reserve, and Imrik's going to quickly move to countercharge them and prevent them from hitting our rear lines. We are also pretty much out of arrows on all but one unit of archers, so they're not going to be able to provide much support anymore, but considering we were fighting against two stacks, that makes sense. At this point, the rangers and the spears are just clambering over the bodies of the slain greenskins. And fortunately, that seems like that's enough, as the greenskins will rout, and with that, the battle will be ours. A lovely settlement fight. Sometimes I feel like I enjoy the minor settlement fights a little bit more than I do the siege battles, but it's at least in part because siege battles have a tendency to be, what's it called? Desynced. At least for now. Ugh. Someday, hopefully they'll fix it and we won't have to deal with that issue anymore. But at least in the early game, it's unlikely to happen, as it depends on the enemy actually building garrison structures. Anyway, close victory for us, primarily due to ammunition, and otherwise it went really well. Ooh, alrighty, we've certainly been racking up massive kill counts on a lot of units throughout this campaign so far. Imrik's up to 706 kills and 92k damage. Michaela's still being ridiculous. 1,500 kills and 155,000 damage. 609 kills, 65k on the Fireborn, 328k on the Dragon Princes, and 332k on the Sun Dragon. And our archers did pretty well as well. 19k on one of them, and none below 10k. Most hovering around 12, 14, 16, 15, etc., etc., etc. And they did run out of pretty much all their arrows, so good for them. Also, the High Elven Rangers continue to keep pace and kill things together with those Dragon Princes. Now, Probably not worth it to loot and sack, simply because we can get more value out of this by gifting it to Ongrim undamaged, I think. So we'll just regu-occupy it. Wait, were we supposed to wait another turn? Did I forget? I don't remember now. I guess we're about to find out. Oh, damn, I forgot to chase after this guy and kill him. I guess it doesn't matter. Whoops. Not a big deal. And we do take it at next tier. Alright, I guess we will invest... Well, actually, a moment. Obsidian Amulet. How much is it worth to at the current rate? 9.8, basically nothing. Alright, so I think in order to get an alliance out of them, we're going to need to trade it to have some stuff. So we'll build a militia camp, and we'll build just whatever is cheap. Okay, nothing is cheap, is it? Just build the Elven Craftsman, whatever. Wish I didn't have to spend 2,000 gold on it, but hopefully we'll get a decent amount of it back once we trade said territory. Anyway, Imrik, you again. Let's get you speed of Assyrian, I guess. More speed, more vigor loss reduction, more melee defense. And we'll just need to keep an eye on your points as to not go overboard. And then we'll go hard to hit afterwards. Frankly, Valor of Ages isn't too great, mostly because it's not always active. But Blade Master and Hard to Hit are easy, and... Wait, what does Lord of Dragons do? Active Hex, melee attack minus 40 and charge resistance minus 75%. Huh. Actually probably be a pretty nice hex on fighting enemy dragons, eh? Maybe we should forego... You know what? Let's forego Speed of Assyrian and move into Lord of Dragons. We'll still go Speed of Assyrian afterwards, of course. Alrighty, and you know what, Michaela, you've got Flamestorm and Piercing Bolts maxed out. Now let's max out Scouting because, well, we need it. Oh wow, you're gonna be on your Sun Dragon soon too. Lovely. Lovely for all of you. Alright, let's see what else we got. -9 public order here. Provincial instability -14. Oh, it's because... Okay, no, that's fine. I was looking at a place that didn't really matter. I guess we gotta build a colonnade here at the Tower of Gorgoth. And as for what we build next, gonna have to go for Homestead. Alright, what about here? We are not yet building this stuff. We'll just keep the public order while we collect income. And we'll switch once we're ready to upgrade, so in a couple of turns. Desolation of Asgore looks fine to me. And in fact, I think we can collect the income at the cost of growth now that we've lost the, whatever the debuff was called. I'm disinclined to invest further in the Elven Artisan here, and besides, in a couple of turns, we'll be able to upgrade the Bone Gulch, hopefully before Clan Moors comes for us. Alright, and that was all the territories, right? I missed one? I didn't miss you. We could uncollect your income and grow again so that we can upgrade Crookback Mountain. Nah, we'll wait a little bit. Just to collect a little bit of cash. What about Vol's Anvil and stuff? We could upgrade the colonnade here eventually. Oh man, the growth. The growth versus the public order. How is it so negative right now? We have 2 public order buildings, plus the bonuses from Imrik, plus the fact that this is a green climate. Collected income. Did that get further buffed in SFO or debuffed or whatever? I wonder. I also wonder whether these guys will attack us, and I guess we're about to find out. Skip, 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 and turn. If they fight us, it'll be a pretty exciting fight, I'm sure. Let's see. Ares suck. Oh, there's a Cult of Pleasure army nearby. No, they're not going to attack us. Now, do we attack them, is the question. Ooh, actually, if they land at Tor Anrock and take it, we could immediately potentially take it for ourselves. And it's a pretty solid location, especially considering their army ran away. I'm not disliking the idea. Instructor, Disciplinarian for Imrik, Seafarer for Erathond. We could go all the way to Fel Cargo, but I'm kind of inclined to keep an eye on Tor Anrock here. We could even, well, we're not allies with them, so we wouldn't heal. Then we could land at Tor Drenel. We can't march well, actually, if we march stance to Tor Drenel, we'd be able to heal at in Aetane territory. You know what? I think that's what we're gonna do. Go here. If they take Tor Anrock, we take it back for ourselves. Let's face it, we don't really care about this faction surviving. Actually, speaking of factions surviving, Warner of Loremaster's still alive. Did you beat Kairos? He's still besieging you, I think. Sorry about the camera going back and forth. Well, he's actually not besieging you. Oh, is he stuck? Oh. Wait, something weird happened here. Kairos appears to be stuck. He didn't sack the Lost Palace. Huh. He can't move, but I think Teclis might be too weak to actually kill his army, so he's not attacking. Oh, that's so bizarre, but we can't help him. I don't know. I don't know what to do about that. I don't know. I'm gonna just keep it as it is, Imrik. Now, assuming we can ignore these dwarfs, we have hopefully time to move towards Mount Gunbad, which is what we want to do right now. So, you're gonna go this way. Phaedian, you're going to follow, or continue following as you do. Go, 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 both of you together. If we can grab this territory... The dwarf, and keep allies with the dwarves, they could protect it for us, ideally. Alright, Desolation of Drakenmore to you. 82, there we go. That will give us the ability to get a defensive alliance, should we desire it. And I think desire it we do. That'll definitely guarantee that we aren't fighting, and we can get the trade agreement and a little bit of cash. Oh, actually quite a bit of cash. No military access, mind you, but frankly, we don't need to move through their territory right now. I like this. Defensive allies. Go. And they will offer us a vision, which is pretty important as well. I'd like to see what's going on. Oh, wow. Karakadrin actually managed to wipe out Azag on their own? I like it. I like it a lot. Well done. Now we don't have to set dragons upon you. And good job to the AI for actually building Slayers in Ungrim's army. No Garagrim. Oh, Garagrim's right there. Watch him take the Conclave as well, but you know what, if he takes it, he takes it. He can protect our northern borders. If nothing else, Ungrim is hardly weak. Anyway, let's level you up, Sir Noble. Let's get you hard to hit, as we get for everybody, and ignore the rest. Next up, we got building. We got a little bit of cash to spend. Some of it has to be saved for the Bone Gulch's upgrade in 2 turns, but it does mean we change nothing right now. Black Fortress we got next turn, so we can rebuild Lost Splendor, and wherein we upgrade some stuff there. Next up we've got this place. Still growing. We could switch back to the growth for a little bit. I'd like to upgrade Mount Silverspear so we could get that Sculptor's Workshop. We also need an Elven Embassy as fast as possible. Wait, which... Okay, so Elven Embassy is this. We can't actually unlock any of these things. Ooh, Awakening the Ancient Ones is what? Exotic Animal Bazaar, we'd be able to build that out of Val's Anvil. It's upkeep 10% for dragons. Income from trade for every ally, very, very strong, and we need... I don't know what Eastern Bazaar is, but we'll take a look at it. Growth plus 10, you say, from the Salt Distillery. Control for monthly festivals, we don't have a vintner, or we don't have wine anywhere. There's some really strong stuff here. Construction costs for all buildings out of the Sculptor's Workshop. Is that the marble thing? Yes, it is. Okay, so we need to prioritize that as well as the Elven Embassy. I guess we'll build it here. In place of a money-making building. Wait, which place can we build up faster? I guess it's this place. Alright, fine. At the cost of a little bit of public order. And, oh, it'll actually cost us a little bit of growth as well. Which is a bit of a shame. But I don't see how we can avoid it unless we don't collect the income. So banish corruption. And I believe Hall's Anvil is the last place, or Caledor is the last place, but I don't think we need to build anything there. Howling Waste is fine, everything else is fine, and I guess we end the turn... Nope, Demon Stump. Not a crazy expense. I don't super care about this province, admittedly. But we might as well. Get a little bit of investment in here. Which wasn't so expensive, but what can you do? Alright, we'll do the same thing there as well. The rest of the stuff now is good. So skip, and assuming there's no Diplo, which by the looks of it there is not, Oh, would you look at that? Ambrose Expedition wants a piece out. How much money are they willing to give us? Not enough as yet. And I guess they're not having a great time against the lizards and the dead there. Which is sort of fine. As long as we're keeping both of those factions happy. Now let's see whether Clan Moors will declare war on us. Once again, it's only a matter of time that they do, and Kugath, depending on who attacks us, it'll decide as to where we go. Okay, no, it's just Ungrim. You want us to join the war against the Conclave? What's the likelihood that he can take Sharnagrund? Honestly, we could probably take Sharnagrund. The problem with doing this, you know what, I'm going to say no, not right now. The problem with doing that right now is the fact that it'll just get us closer to Grimgor. If Grimgor becomes embroiled in a fight with Ungrim, maybe that's fine. Though on the other hand, hopefully Ungrim is the one who declares war. Because if Grimgor does, then we'll have to join the war anyway. Anyway, trait gain for Phaedian, Imperial Wardens destroyed. Hey, Van Braces of Defense. Ward save 15. Melee defense 8. That's pretty darn strong. What are you using again, Imrik? The Talisman of Preservation, which is weaker. Well. I guess you're getting even stronger, sir. We lose 1 ward save for 8 melee defense and 8 armor. And on such a big target, once again, is pretty good. And we'll give that Talisman of Preservation to somebody afterwards. You can move into... I mean... You know what, I think you can march. Both of you march, because then we can use, Phaedian rather, to take the World's Edge Archway, and then hopefully push Imrik all the way to either the High Place, or ideally Mount Gunbat itself, and then... Oh, I think Krezkrek is here with a main stack, meaning they might take the High Place before we do, which would be a shame. But oh well. Kugath's still doing okay. How's he doing now? He's fighting all the ogres plus the caravan, but isn't losing territory. What about all this stuff? All looks fine to me. All looks fine to me. Minus the Order of Lore Masters. Well, we can't see what's going on now, but they're still alive by the looks of it. You're still on the way to find the Eastern colonies. And we're going to need to get another research thing up and running. And we did Swift Sense, so I guess recruit training for militia training. It doesn't really matter which one we do. Neither one is super relevant. What we do want to do now, however, is A, switch you to rebuild Lost Splendor, getting ready to upgrade the tower here. B, we need to build an Elven embassy. We have no choice in the matter. So I think we'll build it here. Oh, wait, no, we need a tier 3 to do it, damn. Well, that's a shame. Is there anywhere where we can build it right now? Alas, I don't believe there is. You're losing public order, but you are growing a little bit better, so I think we'll leave you in that state for now. I guess Tower of Gorgoth will upgrade some stuff here. So Manor, Promenade, the expense, the terrible expense, and I guess here we will build the plaza. Yeah, we just need to keep building the public order buildings. I don't see how we have a choice. And I guess that we'll upgrade this to next tier next turn. So we'll leave you and rebuild Lost Splendor, rather. And the rest of this is fine. Gonna be some admin in the relative early game, but, well, hopefully that's alright. You're really not growing very well, are you? Oh, that's with the growth, right. Ugh. So Toranrock did fall to Ares Sawkins. He didn't take too much damage. There are breaches in the walls. Might still be a toughie, but I think this is a pretty decent time. The only issue is, if we take this, there's a decent chance that immediately afterwards we get attacked by Lililian. Oh, and Count Noctilus is well nearby. Man, maybe not. Maybe this isn't a good idea. Maybe we should take out this guy at White Peak instead. Let me just think about this. You might go for Griffin Gate, right? These guys are refusing to be confederated. And this army's still here. Will they go for Griffin Gate is the question. You know what? Stay here. Stay in ambush stance. I want to see what happens. I don't want to make a move with this army as yet. I think it's a bad idea to move before we know what's happening. There's just too many armies all around here. We don't even see Marathi's army. How's these guys doing against Slaanesh? They seem to be okay, at least for now. We'll need to build Arathon some more eagles. In the meantime, though, we'll skip, and end the turn. Alright, I forgot to check. How many more turns into the next dragon thing? Okay, that's Tyrion. You're probably not declaring war on us. You want us to join the war against Cult of Pleasure. We will do this, just not right now. Clan wars. Okay, no war declaration as yet. I do wonder who they're fighting now. Huh. The Exiles of Khorne became super visible right now. I'm not entirely sure why. Just the map, we just saw a bunch of territories. I guess it's something the Court of Libaris did. They're giving us vision. And this. Now, the research rate on the miscast base chance isn't crazy awful. I mean, it's awful, but right now the research isn't really doing anything for us. The next part of this is a really big debuff, though. It'll increase the difficulty. I'm just gonna do it anyway. Just do it, whatever. Confederation, Reichland and Ostermark. Sure, game, sure, why not? And yeah, Thorgrim did take it. He did take it. So then the question will be, do we leave him Mount Gunbad? I guess the question will be, wait, how many territories do you guys have? 2. I really wanted that gold mine. But I guess we could leave him World's Edge Archway and then head down southward instead to the Dragon Isles. We have plenty of rich provinces to be getting on with, I suppose. You're only at war with Karazakarak. Sucks to be you, I guess. Alright, join war against the Crooked Moon. Not the Mutinous Skits, and only for money, I guess. Like so. Greenskin Conflict. Oh, we actually had a quest for that. That's swell. Then we will use you in Lilith's Blessing. And you will reinforce. I don't think it's going to be a decisive defeat, though. You can go into... You know what? Stay in regular... Well, no, you can still get the extra XP out of Noble Prestige and then switch to March Stance afterwards. We may have to fight this, because if we don't... Wait, let me just think about this. How far can you go with March Stance? You should be able to reach Mount Gunbad. We might be able to trade the High Place for something in the Badlands after, since we're going to want to be fighting Wurzag anyway. Certainly a decent reason to do that, I think. Also, before I forget, Howling Rock. 42. You'll be willing to offer us... Okay, you're not rich enough. We'll give him Howling Rock, just not yet. Just gotta make sure... Oh, it's gonna rebel. Okay, we got one more turn before it rebels, so I guess we'll wait. Ooh, before I forget, yes to the Bone Gulch upgrade. Only 4 turns, and I guess we could just upgrade the Elven Artisan here. You're going to be waiting for 4 turns, so switch back to Tribute to the Phoenix King. We immediately upgrade Purified Graves of the Dragons after, and get another unit of Dragon Princes, cheap Dragon Princes, for Imrik. Get the Colonnade up and running in the Howling Wastes, and that's all we can do for a while, so you can switch back to... Growth or Public Order? I'd say grow for a little bit and then back to Public Order for a bit. This place, okay, it's starting to lose... Well, keep it for a few more turns, we'll be able to upgrade Crookback Mountain, so that's fine. Tower of Gorgoth. Yes to the Gates of Jar being upgraded, and then I guess stay and rebuild Lost Splendor because we gotta build some stuff there. Lastly, Vol's Anvil. Can't believe we had the money to actually afford all that. Torsathai. It's still okay, I guess. I guess just keep growing. It's just that the place grows so slow, I don't see the need to... Ow! Okay, wait. Wait, how did... Wait, what? I'm... confused. There was another army here. Now it's Noctilus here. Huh. Huh. They didn't grab the Griffin Gate, or did they? They sacked it. The heck? might... did they sack it and lose their entire army? Interesting. You know what, Arathon? Go into ambush again. Stay still. If Noctis takes Griffin Gate, we destroy him and then immediately retake Toran Rock. Although with Griffin Gate being damaged, his army probably wouldn't take too much damage attacking it. What do we got in terms of defenses at Toran Rock? Not much. We probably get all of these guys to come out and play. Knock out Noctilus again while we're at it. I think that's probably the best option. For now, however, we should still do this one. A little mini fight, but I think we'll still fight it manually. And just to reduce casualties. And to say low casualties. What? Okay, let's just let's check the defenses of Mount Gunbat. Oh yeah, they got decent defenses here. Plus, yeah, no, we'll need a full stack for that, like a non-hurt full stack. Go. Alright, here we go. A smaller battle, again in a minor settlement, though a pretty nice looking one. Because of the lava, I was going to say it looks like a Chaos Dwarfen settlement, but no, it's a regular Dwarfen settlement, just filled with works and lava all over the place. Anyway, a smaller battle perhaps, but there is a difference between the garrison of this and that of the Drippin' Fangs, which are an Orky faction, but this being a Goblin faction. The Crooked Moon has a ton of goblins and other greenskin things, like squigs and stuff. And that is very different from the Orky garrison. Plus, the thing about this particular garrison is the fact that there are 3 rock lobbers, which would be very, very threatening to our infantry lines if we let them fire with impunity. Though hopefully we won't. The only one who gets to fire with impunity is Michaela. And she does so damn well. Anyway, the squigs have moved in, backed up by trolls and gobos. Back here we have a Sun Dragon Breath coming down on some of the goblin archers who appear to be getting ready to rout. And once again, here come those very fast-running High Elven Rangers with their 56 movement speed. In the meantime, Michaela has been waiting for this 3 artillery pieces, all in a nice little line, for the Summoned Phoenix to move through. Or the Fiery Convocation spell to move through. Moves through about half of them here, which takes them down by about half HP, and then we'll follow that up with the other half with a Burning Head. Like so, hopefully it doesn't veer in the wrong direction. Okay, it tried to veer in the wrong direction. It has a bad habit of doing so, but fortunately it simply bounced off the wall, and with that all 3 of the enemy artillery pieces are out. Biggest threat off the field, and now it's simply a matter of ripping the rest of the gobos apart, and the settlement will be ours. Alright, and that's a big old pile of gobos for Menaithmir to pounce through or tail whack and send the enemy flying. Now pounce this way, guy, come on. This would be an ideal time. Getting a Chain Lightning out, if you're wondering where the heck that came from, the Feyadian has a bound Chain Lightning ability. Though it still kind of bothers me that that spell's called Chain Lightning rather than Ball Lightning, but anyway. Anyway, there we go. Finally, Menaithmir pounces into the middle of the gobos. The Dragon Princes have moved in to back up Imrik and his Star Dragon pal as well, though I do see some Spinning Loons moving through our lines. Spinning Loons do quite a lot of damage. We certainly see them knock down a few High Elven Rangers, but fortunately, with only a single loon, the damage just isn't there. I do remember in the Kislev campaign, there were a few moments when a few Spinning Loons did massive amounts of damage. Oh, yeah, that was a great charge from that one single Dragon Prince. And let's see how we're doing here. The Sun Dragon has touched down upon some gobos. We're trying to move towards that barricade/platform, but it does look like the battle should be just about ours. Just a sliver of balance of power remaining, and frankly, surprising once again that the enemy army hasn't simply broken at this point. Well, there is a way that we can break them with decent ease, I think. There is an enemy Lord Goblin Big Boss hiding out here, so as soon as we breathe our Star Dragon Breath on these Gabos here, there we go, and melt most of them away. We'll head towards that enemy Lord, knock him out, and the morale shock should carry the day. That's gotta be a scary sight. I always love when flying units fly above, like up above over buildings and stuff. A little bit more sort of dimension to the battles in that way. Alright, and there we go. Imrik has landed, or Menethir has landed, taking about half of the HP off the Goblin Big Boss, and though the Goblin Big Boss has called some other Gobos to try to defend him, I just don't think it's going to be enough. Anyway, the Gobos book it on out of there even as Imrik activates his Bound Fire ability, and I do believe the Goblin Big Boss will shatter as well, and with that, the settlement is ours. No problem, and this way we avoided potential casualties and should be able to push towards Mount Gunbad. Alright, there we go, easy enough. Michaela very much instrumental in the win as she cleared out the artillery of the enemies once again, and that keeps them from being any kind of threat. We'll occupy the settlement to hopefully... Ooh, hello, what do we have here? Missile strength plus 10, ability Bow of the Seafarer. Another magic missile, eh? It only gives you missile strength, though. Well, we could give that to the other... well, we have an army that will make some good use of that. Now, we wouldn't trespass. What's the likelihood that Thorgrim declares war on us for having the World's Edge Archway? I'm gonna say, or I'm gonna hope that it's non-existent. So, we're going to push you as far as we can all the way to Mount Gunbad, Imrik. And assuming that Thorgrim can't immediately take it, we'll take it and the gold mine for ourselves. I mean, why not? And Fadian, I guess you will not be able to follow to this fight, but this will shore up our borders to the north and to the west, meaning we are free, hopefully, to pursue either Moors or to pursue Kugath. Who's up next? Erathond. Alright, I hadn't decided. What about Belharathoi? You're gonna suffer some attrition. Okay, maybe be careful about finding the Slaneshi here. We don't necessarily want to find them. We can head to either the Star Tower or the Tower of the Stars. Doesn't really matter. Or Tower of the Sun. All good. Do we wait for another turn, or risk Count Noctilucus not taking any damage when attacking Griffin Gate?
What do you seek from
Hey, we don't really care about the gate, to be perfectly honest. I mean, care much more about the coastline. Could go right up to him and attempt the attack. He's in ambush stance and he's got that bonus range. I really wish we could see what exactly is in his army. A little bit closer. And I see he has some animated hulks, plus he himself. Don't like the fact that he has 2 mortars. I remember that this is a very basic army. And it doesn't have a mage, even if it has some abilities. We could cross through the... Huh. Wait. Go into ambush. And go right here. I don't know if this is crazy. I don't know if this will work at all. But what if we declare war on him and attempt to ambush him here? If this fails, he'll move down here and we have no way to defend towards the thigh.
Ready to serve.
And he could attempt to go for Avathir instead. No, I think it's probably too risky to do this, isn't it? Yeah. Or at least it's too risky to declare war on him like this. Alright, just stay here. We'll see what he does. This won't ambush him, but I'd rather not make a move and get that army killed just by being overly unnecessarily impatient. Next up, I believe we've switched everything in terms of buildings, so we can skip, and turn and see what happens. Probably should have checked the diplomacies before the end turn, but oh well. I'd love to knock out Mount Gunbad this turn. Or this episode in general. And just to have our northern borders all be good. Thoric Ironbrow still wants peace. Say, not while you're fighting the lizards, sir, as they'll hate on us for piecing out with you, and I don't think we need that right now. Certainly we don't need them sailing up our coast and annoying us. We've got Kugat to go after all. Drowned, ambush foiled Arathon, but that's as expected. Damn, I was hoping... Huh, he left the high place. Go figure. I was hoping that... Rebellion on the Blasted Waste. So right, okay, I'm gonna trade this right now because I'm not going to remember to do it otherwise. Howling Rock to you, sir.
You no doubt have a request. I'll hear it now.
We can either... I mean, we're not paying him that much money for it. I think I'd rather just trade it to him. Is there anybody we could get him to declare war on that would be good for us? I mean, we could declare war on Grimgore, but then he'll just come out of the mountains going this way. I think we just take what money we can get, even if it's not everything. There's no real benefit into pushing him into any other wars. He'll get into wars on his own. And I guess we could try to get him to attack Uzkaka now. Huh. Maybe Zatan isn't doing so bad here. Interesting. Alright, just take what money you can get then. And just so that the place doesn't rebel. And he has the full province now. Good. Alright, let's, while we're in the diplomacy tree, let's keep a looking at the diplomacy. The Ice Court's having a pretty bad time, but yeah, it's Kislev with that auto-resolve hatred that the game feels for it, so not much we can do about that. Mount Gunbed? Oh, he did move up here. He's a little bit more damaged now. He'd have the garrison from the gate. But he is more damaged now. We could potentially take the gate, kill him. Oh, it's risky. It's risky. Do we have a mount on either of you? We do have a mount on you. Alright, you know what? I think we'll do this. But the way we'll do this is thusly. We're going to... Do we lose? No, we should probably use the... Oh, the Seafarer will give us a magic missile. Could be useful. What do you have again? Oh, you have the other spell ability. Yeah, alright, here's what we'll do. We're gonna do a little bit of item swapping. Both the Seafarer, Talisman of Preservation, we'll need everything we can, and we're gonna lose the Book of the Phoenix, and we're going to briefly, for a couple turns, probably take the Kane's Ring of Fury. Frankly, without a mage in this army, we need this more. If we can knock out Count Noctilus here, it'll be pretty big for us. Though we do have to watch for Nakari coming down. Once again, I suppose the benefit of leaving these guys all alone is... I still haven't lost the place. Damn it, do something. Oh, that's irritating. You're at war with Tyrannok. Tyrannok, we will ask you to join war.
I've heard tales of your valor. Let us sit and
Against
talk
the
together.
Dread Fleet. Like so. For 3? Really? That's all? That's okay. And then we'll kill them off the Dread Fleet, and then we'll peace out with them for hopefully a decent amount of cash. You are going to go into Noble Prestige. He's not gonna run, is he? Huh. I hope not. I honestly hadn't even considered the possibility, but let's just hope he doesn't. And intercepted by settlement. Oh. It's... well, that's annoying. Or is it? Wait, retreat for a second. No, don't go so far. Dude.
You called
Alright, since we're getting intercepted by settlement, go directly for Griffin Gate.
for the Ever Queen.
I don't think we can get intercepted if we attack it directly, and then Noctilus will come in as a reinforcement. This might actually work in our favor, depending on how far the towers of the settlement can reach. About to find out. Go. Huh, no speech, eh? Well, either way, here we go. Well, I probably should have saved this particular battle for the start of next episode just to save on time a little bit, but I don't think anybody's gonna be complaining about a long episode. And on top of that, let's face it, Arathon has been patiently waiting for several turns now to get into a fight, and he damn well will have his fight this episode. I would have felt bad bad if if we were just edging him for the entire episode. Anyway, the enemy reinforcements are going to arrive on the field shortly. In fact, here they come, led by Count Noctilus. And we're going to hit him pretty darn hard. Not going to press him directly towards or we're not going to deploy like right at the edge of the map, but I do think that this is still a viable tactic in the sense that I don't consider it cheesy as long as you don't, you know, prevent the enemy from moving on to the actual field, simply because, I mean, we knew where they were coming, and it makes sense to deploy in such a way that we take advantage of knowing where the enemy is coming from. We can also take advantage of our bound abilities, the Fiery Convocation being joined by that wind attack as well. Or breath of attack, or rather, breath ability, whatever. But the main thing here is to hold the spear line while all of our range units do the damage. And dealing damage, they certainly are. A little bit of help from the eagles making the enemy bleed. Count Noctilus distracted by both our prince and noble. And zombies held back by the piles of spears. The mortars are not yet on the field, but they will be on the field shortly. And this is what I was talking about, this being a good thing, that the enemy army will move as a reinforcement instead. Because it's an undead army, it can't escape like another army might, and thus, this is actually a good way to fight them. Unfortunately, though, because of all the enemy-bound abilities, their Zufbar 42-pounders in their Wraith Storm, they have been doing quite a bit of damage to our back line and hitting several units of archers. I think one actually ran off the field because it took so much damage, and the Spearman unit took a bit of damage as well. Our Eagles are starting to take a bit of damage themselves as the animated Hulks and those ogre pieces animated into action are doing fairly decently against them due to their, well, high damage, I guess. I was about to say armor piercing. It's not like the eagles really have armor. Well, I'm sure their hides, or feathers, I guess, protect them to some degree. Anyway, ooh. You gotta love it when the, yeah, there we go, like little explosions, like when it's completely dark and then during the fight occasionally things get lit up when there are explosions around. Makes for some damn nice cinematic shots, especially when fighting these horrific monstrosities that are the animated Hulks. Cool unit though. Still very fond of them, due to the Aranessa campaign. Anyway, it looks like Count Noctilus's army is in pretty bad shape. As soon as the mortars made their way onto the field, we were able to obliterate them with concentrated fire from the High Elven archers, and by the looks of it, only the animated Hulks will be remaining. Noctilus is down to about 40% of his HP here, having been in the fight this entire time against the Noble and the Prince. And a few more hits from the two should probably bring him down. No spin to win from you today, Noctilus. And just like there wasn't last time you fought Arathon. Alright, a few more spear pokes. Noctilus is down. Well, actually, he still has about a third of his HP remaining, but the rest of his army ain't so lucky. Alright, last of the animated Hulks will fall in the dark. Not in the darkness of the depths, perhaps, but, well, I don't think they can complain. And Noctilus surrounded, his back filled with arrows at this point, spears poking at him from every which way, and the sword of the noble, or the sword of the prince and the halberd of the noble will at last bring him down. Ooh, he looks like he managed to get one last spell out before he did that, but we're okay. Anyway, our army's in decent shape. We lost one unit, which was destroyed by a Wraith Storm or by a Zufbar 42-pounders. I didn't see what particular spell hit them, well... Other than that unit, we're okay. Our spears took the brunt of the damage, which is what they're for. These 3 units are non-viable, but we still have 4 units of spears that are okay. 2 are at half HP, and then the others are fine. Our eagles also took quite a bit of damage at about half, and unfortunately we no longer have the high mage that we had last time this army fought, so we won't be able to rely on her healing the eagles through the damage, which means we'll have to be very, very careful with them. The AI actually quite smartly moved the range range units off of the walls. And I say that that's smart because we sent our eagles forward specifically to knock out all the enemy range units on the walls, as eagles and other sort of monstrous flyers are really good at that sort of thing. But since the enemy's units are now off the walls, if the eagles tried to attack anything up here, they would simply be riddled with gunfire by the enemy. And thus we're going to have to take this the old-fashioned way. Spears are going to head up the walls, our noble and our prince will attempt to break through the gate, all the while we continue firing on the enemy with our archers. The enemy holds the gate of one of Ulthuan's gates, and that cannot be allowed. Not that we once again really particularly care about these gate locations, unless we're unless we're basically getting obliterated on the outer portion of the donut. And we're certainly going to be using Arathon's army to try to make sure that that specific particular thing does not happen. Anyway, it's going to be a long time before we can break through those gates, because we don't really have anything that can quickly break through them, but not to worry. We have plenty of work for our archers, though not so much plenty in terms of ammunition, as we're down to between, let's say, 10 and 20% all told. We're going to have to try to have the archers focus down specific units, and it's really the range units we want to go after. I think the melee units we can handle with the eagles and with our single entities if we need to. So we need to do our best to make, let's say, the best use that we can of our limited amount of remaining ammunition. Alright, how's that balance power looking? Still only about 55% in our favor, surprisingly. I guess the AI really likes the fact that it's still holding the walls and the gate. Speaking of the gate, it looks like as the sirens have moved in, the gates have opened and we're getting a little bit of action against them. Funnily enough, having removed that Shrieking Blade, we don't have the magical damage, which would have helped against the Sirens in this particular case. Although that said, we do have bound abilities to make use of, so there is still that. And how we doing otherwise? There we go, targeting those range units over the walls once again, just trying to ignore the melee units, as the range units are going to be the bigger threat. Some bats have decided to try to annoy us up on the walls, or at least these spears that have taken the walls, but shouldn't be much of an issue either. And here comes some animated hulks to join the sirens, actually a fairly solid combo of units as well. The Sirens being a defensive unit because they have that charmed ability that they do when they, their contact effect. -10 melee attack, which is great considering the animated hulks are a low defense type monster. Fortunately for us, though, by the looks of it, the damage has told, and the balance of power shifts to about 70% in our favor, but that's not what matters so much, as the enemy has suffered so many army losses that the remaining garrison begins to crumble. Funnily enough, Noctilus kind of screwed over this garrison, as it was his army losses, I take it, that made them crumble so early. They probably could have held out a little bit longer here, as it was taking us quite the while to break through those gates, and we were out of ammunition. Though, to be fair, we were also out of ammunition because of Noctilus's army. Anyway, with that, the last of the enemy units will crumble away, and only the Vampire Fleet Admiral will remain on the field. Going to capture a minor supply location, and capture the gates, and then send Eagles and Lord and Hero towards the enemy Lord. Alright, she's gonna get mobbed by those eagles from every side, but we are going to try to be careful not to actually lose models for them, or of them. And just in case we need them to fight next turn. And there we go, our Lord charges on in with the spears, and the eagles will carry the day, I guess. It looked like one of the eagles got the last blow anyway. Anyway, heroic victory for us, and Arathon beats Noctilus yet again. Alright, very, very nice. Let's see how many units survived for Noctis. 2 of his mortars survived. Would have preferred any other unit at all than that, but oh well. Not a huge deal. At the end of the day, we captured the gate, and there's not a lot of the enemy there. Almost tempted to loot and occupy it. For the healing, because you know what, we're gonna loot knock, but I think it was a tier 1 anyway, so it won't make any difference. We'll repair it eventually. And what's the likelihood that we can immediately attack? Okay, no, it's not non-existent. Yeah, we will. That's actually, repairing it is pretty cheap anyway. Let's repair it. 422. Not so bad. Griffin gates secured. Actually, out of curiosity, what do gates give us? Other than... it's growth for adjacent provinces. Great in Ulthuan, and I guess it'll allow us to grow Toranlek faster. Or Anrock, rather. Anlek's up north. Eagle Sanctuary. Nothing faction-wide, unfortunately. And does it enable recruitment of any kind? It doesn't enable recruitment of something like Gate Guard? It's a little bit unfortunate. A bit inferior to the Cathian gates, I think. You stay here. Oh, damn, Wait, does this mean... I think this means he's stuck, actually, so actually that's fine. That's fine. Stand the Led's Blessing, even though you can't cast. We'll knock you out, then we'll take Toranrock, then we'll presumably peace out with you afterwards. Hopefully. But it's nice to have some other territories on the donut. I'm also hoping that these guys don't take Toranrock as well next turn. They are still fighting the Kari after all, so we'll have to wait and see. Or Gilgallion could potentially attack us. It's certainly a possibility, but I think we'll have to wait and see until next time. We're certainly out of time. I do tend to go on when I'm having fun in these episodes, so we'll start off the next episode by attacking Mount Gunbad. I wish I remembered what the defeat trait was in SFO for Scarsnake, whether it's worth waiting on. Though on the other hand, assuming that he died here at Mount Squighorn, he'll still take another 3 turns to recover, and I just feel like we can't wait that long regardless of what his defeat trait is. So we'll probably just attack him and knock it out, and then head to Kugath, hopefully. Assuming that Moors is still busy, and considering they declared war on Karazakarak instead, and they do seem to be, which will give us a little bit more time to push this way. If we can take all this and then link up with our Cathan friends here and Goldtooth surviving here, we'll really only have Grimgor as a potential enemy around these territories other than Clan Moors, which would be great, as we can simply build either a defensive army or an offensive army to deal with Grimgor at that time. Anyway, stay tuned for more Imrik. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below. All glory to the algorithm. Thanks for watching.